Achaia. And Paul went to Achaia on a number of occasions. And it's kind of it's like an island actually below the mainland of Greece, but it has a little narrow land canal, an isthmus it's called, that connects it to mainland Greece above and to Athens. This little isthmus, which we'll see, we're going to go across it today later, and we will also be coming to Corinth, and we'll see it on that day as well, towards the last day of our trip. And that little isthmus, when the ancient ships used to come, they didn't want to go all the way around this peninsula we're on. They wanted to go straight across. They would unload their ships, drag the ships across that isthmus with slaves, reload it on the other side, and take off to Italy. And we're going to be going across the top from west to east, across the top of, it's called the Peloponnese now. What is it? Peloponnese. The Peloponnese. And in the biblical times called Achaia. Did I say it right? Did I say it right?
Yeah. Achaia.
Achaia. That's how you say it.
Peloponnese means the island of Pelops.
Pelops.
Yeah.
Okay. The island of Pelops.
The ancient
the
god.
Peloponnese. And in biblical times, Achaia. Right on the end of Achaia, by the way, over by Corinth, I'll show it to you, is where Paul's favorite barber shop was. And you laugh, but it says that Paul, on his way out of Corinth, stopped at Cenchrea, and he got his hair cut. He had it shaved because he was keeping a Jewish vow. But I love to tell people that because it's very earthy. You know, here Paul stopped and got a haircut. We'll go by there and I'll point it out to you days from now. But we're driving now along what's this kind of like an island with a small isthmus connection from west to east. And when we get to the eastern end, we're going to be going through Corinth. On the map it says Corinthos with a K. Corinthians were Paul's favorite people. He loved them more than he loved any of the other churches that he worked in. I just finished writing a 300-page commentary on 1st and 2nd Corinthians, eventually to be published by Ignatius. And he loved them, sacrificed for them, pleaded with them. It's an amazing 2 books. I'll recommend that you read 2nd Corinthians before we go there a week from now. But after we go across the top of this island, you're going to have the water all along on your left-hand side. So we're going to be going along the water. Then we're going to cross over and go up towards Athens. We will go on the outskirts of Athens, down to a little tip of land. What is it? The name of it? Lavrio. And we're going to be landing at Lavrio, arriving there and getting off and getting on our ferry from there. It's a nice thing about it is we're the only ferry, cruise ship there. We don't have to compete with 5 or 10 others, which is on the bigger ports. You have to deal with 5 or 10 others and 20, 30, 40 buses pulling in at a time. We're the only ones. This cruise ship is the only one there. The security and the entrance on the ship is very easy, not like Americans. With Americans, there's a lot of formalities and security and everything else. It's quite easy here. We just pretty much get a ticket and go on. And I think we're going to be the largest group. There's going to be, it holds over 800 people, but our 120, I think we're going to be the biggest group. So we'll control the ship.
You will be the captain.
I'll be the captain. And we have the lounge area, the Star Lounge, if I remember right, and we have pretty much access to that anytime we want, except for when there are other planned events. But we'll have mass there sometimes, and we're going to give talks. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be on the ship for the afternoon, because we're going to get off in the morning to see Thessaloniki, and in the afternoon and evening, we're free on the ship. So we're going to use those free times to make it a seminar at sea. And tomorrow I'll give my talk, assuming my voice is better by then. I'll be giving my talk on the life of St. Paul. It's very different from the movie that you saw, by the way. But I do a movie and a talk that are very different. So we'll do that, and then Mark Brumley and Father Mark Mary are going to also be giving talks along the way as well when we have free time. So as soon as we get on the freeway, we'll go ahead and start the prayers. Until then, just relax, enjoy the ride, and we'll keep updating you as we go along. You're going to see a strange language written. That's the language of Greek. You'll see signs written kind of in English, and at least English letters that we're familiar with, and the Greek alphabet. Greek alphabet is alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, chi, rho, psi, something, something, omega. I forgot the last two. Remember, Jesus said, I am the Alpha and the Omega. That's the beginning and the end of the Greek alphabet. It begins with Alpha and it ends with Omega. That's saying I am the beginning and the end. The Alpha and the Omega. So you'll notice this is when you read the New Testament in Greek in its original language. Those who go to seminary, our priests with us, and probably our deacons as well, have learned some Greek, and these words will be very familiar to them. But this is the language. It's modern Greek, and the Bible's in ancient Greek. But it's the same letters, same sounds, and it makes it very interesting.